Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Let's Talk Football episode 27, but it's just a live stream. We're gonna go through whatever. Look, I wish you could see what's going on in the background here. We're trying so many new things, and to be honest with you, I hate it. So I'm a little bit fired up. I'm also fired up for a couple of reasons. First off, the dryer in my apartment it's actually the most insufferable noise I've ever heard. And it goes 4 times. And it's happened a couple of times on this live stream. I wish you could see what is behind me right now. Have never figured out the lighting on these live streams. And I'm pretty big into lighting. I feel like lighting kind of makes or breaks shots. But I don't know how the hell to do lighting. So we've got this fucking thing behind me. It's bright as hell. I've got this thing right here. It's also bright as hell. You can see it in the reflection. So we're working on all these kinks. This one was pretty exciting. I made a Bengals video using this. This is just a handheld microphone, trying to get into more face stuff. Every time I do a live stream, folks, I've had this. There's over 3,000 videos on this channel. Over 3,000. Every time I do a live stream with my face, every time I do a video with my face, people are like, face review. We've been doing this for like 5 years. But, sorry, threw a zin in. People don't watch. People aren't watching these days. So trying to test out some new content stuff. I usually do a post-week recap, but honestly, nobody's watching it. So if you're watching this, you wouldn't mind hitting that like button. Goes a long way. Our last live stream had 6 freaking likes. I'm sure I'm one of them. My girl's one of them. My mom's one of them. So we need some support. If I'm just being blunt with you guys, I appreciate it. It's really hard doing these when no one watches, just to keep it a buck. I also hate traditional media right now where you need to have these like grand takes. You need to have these like grandiose takes. I'm more of a discussion guy, to be honest with you. So when we do these live streams, if nobody's watching and it's not interactive, I don't know. Sometimes I kind of stumble a little bit. So we're trying to find our place, man. We're getting close to 100K subs. I feel like I shouldn't be having these issues, but we just went about this channel all wrong, apparently. Followers, subscribers, whatever it is, they're all vanity metrics. What you want to build is a community, and I feel like we haven't had a community in at least a year on this channel. So trying to figure this out. Week 8 was honestly another snooze fest as far as just a casual viewer like myself. Real snoozer. Heading into the week itself, just real snoozer. There were a good amount of blowouts here. Just looking at it right away, getting it started Thursday night, Los Angeles versus Minnesota. Not too much there. Carson Wentz has been playing with a torn labrum, if I'm not mistaken, for the last couple of weeks. So that's a whole thing. It felt like they were going to move to J.J. McCarthy anyways, and I made a whole video talking about you should move to J.J. McCarthy anyways. And it just came out, I think it was today, that Carson Wentz has been playing with these injuries for the last couple of weeks. So, look, man, Minnesota, you need reps. J.J. McCarthy needs reps. I've got a lot of Vikings fans, in our subscriber base, and I'm curious where they stand because Minnesota's 3-4. This was a 14-win team 1 year ago, and you need these starting QBs, these young rookies. They need reps, man. You need reps. I don't care if it's the NBA. I don't care if it's the NFL, especially an NFL rookie quarterback. These guys just need reps. So props to Carson Wentz for playing through these injuries. Props to Carson Wentz for giving it his all. And it's just J.J. McCarthy time. I don't care if the Vikings go 3-14 and lose their next 9 to finish off the season. These kids need reps. We're a year and a half into J.J. McCarthy getting drafted to the Minnesota Vikings, and we have no effing idea what he is and what he isn't. So you need to give J.J. McCarthy reps. A tough loss, 37-10, man. Justin Herbert's a beast. I don't know. There's not much else to it. Thursday night games can kind of be pretty chaotic. Let's see what we have this week because I do not know. Baltimore and Miami. Won't be watching much of that, just to keep it a buck. But anyways, what's up, Real Cozy? I appreciate you pulling up, man. Moving down the line, didn't watch any Miami Atlanta. I feel bad if you did. Just a real nothing there. Kirk Cousins. That about wraps that one up. Miami got to win. Mike McDaniel saves another day. Look, it's 9:30 here. It's a Tuesday night. I'm not trying to get too crazy, but I guess we are. We started this live stream kind of crazy. Mike McDaniel, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, the cocaine jokes. Look, I'm 26. I don't think they're jokes. Like Mike McDaniel might be just fucking coked out every damn time he hits a mic. I don't know. Maybe that's just who he is. It actually is who he is. I'm not trying to say Mike McDaniel is doing cocaine, but he exhibits the signs of doing cocaine. But at the same time, this is just who he is. 2-6, Miami. Atlanta, Michael Penix didn't play. Kind of tough, man. Injuries suck, and we'll talk plenty of injuries this week. It's been a pretty injured season. Baltimore, Chicago, you guys know I'm born and bred in the Chicagoland area. Tyler Huntley's such a good backup quarterback. You probably can't ask for a better backup quarterback performance than he did. Gets Baltimore back to 2-5. We don't do too many Ravens videos on this channel. Honestly, there's like 32 teams in the NFL. We probably cover like 20 of them. And it's something, as every goddamn year passes, I wish I was a little bit better at. But I don't know. Sometimes you have these really big media teams and it's just you get lost into it. So every Ravens video I've ever made has never done well. So kind of a tough incentive. But at the same time, they're Super Bowl contenders and they're 2-5 now. And I think Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, I've been tweeting this a lot. I think they're still going to make the playoffs. I would never fade Lamar Jackson. You could fade the Baltimore Ravens and I would get that. But I can't fade Lamar Jackson. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. As far as the Bears go, the Caleb Williams discussions they're so fascinating every single week because Caleb and the Bears can win a football game, and people are like, Caleb sucks. Should we be worried about him? Like, I'll even just pull up the Bears schedule right now. They just won 4 straight. All right, Caleb will go to Washington and he'll win a football game, and people are like, I don't know. Did he show you what we need to see? And everyone is like, I don't know. Not the best wins against Las Vegas and the Saints, not the 2 best franchises this season. That Dallas Week 3 win I thought was impressive. The Washington Monday night win I thought was impressive. This one, it sets you back, but they say the old adage is you don't give a rookie quarterback until Thanksgiving of his sophomore campaign. We're getting close to Caleb Williams' Thanksgiving sophomore campaign, and I still like what I see. I'm a Packers fan. The Bears always have holes, and I feel like most of them usually aren't necessarily roster-based, but obviously they picked up Ben Johnson. They did a great job on the offensive line. I feel like they did a good job of drafting, and that's a tough road loss to a backup QB. I won't lie to you. That one's tough. But I don't know. Caleb, you got to give him at least until the end of the season before you start making, firm takes. I just feel like the NFL, the media world moves so fast. We've been doing these streams, these videos for a couple of years now, and it's just kind of crazy how you can ridicule a player one week, the next week they lose or they win, and it's a whole nother discussion. It's a whole nother hot take, and I don't really love it, but that is a bad loss for the Chicago Bears on the road to Baltimore, and it's a huge win for Baltimore. What's up, Shift God? Yeah, man. We'll get to the Packers a little bit later on, but Thanksgiving's going to be that's going to be great. I feel like Thanksgiving, looking at it a couple of weeks ago, wasn't the best, but that Lions-Packers game, regardless, that was the headliner, and I don't know. I got so much family from Detroit. I love watching the Detroit Lions play on Thanksgiving. Buffalo, Carolina. I gave this I gave this football game a good half hour. The Red Raider, isn't that not even what they call him? See, I thought Andy Dalton's nickname was the Red Raider, and I'm trying to think if that is his nickname, but I felt like they called him something different. I thought Carolina's defense in the first half did a phenomenal job of stopping Josh Allen. Unfortunately, James Cook ran all over him, and they scored 40. The first quarter wasn't that bad, but Andy Dalton, Carolina's excited to get Bryce Young back and healthy. Because that game was going so poorly, I shifted to the Jets-Cincinnati game, and that's just circling back to the start of this stream. I mean, it just wasn't a good week of the NFL as far as games go. That game was awesome. It's just crazy. You've got the 0-7 Jets versus the 3-4 Joe Flacco-led Bengals. It was one hell of a football game. I just made a Bengals video the other day because they're a whole mess, man. When your starting quarterback is hurt, especially for 2 straight seasons, man, it's brutal. But shout out Justin Fields and the Jets getting that win. San Fran lost 15-26 to Houston. I just made a Texans video, and I've been throwing some tweets out into the ether. We'll get to the Colts in a couple of games from now. It's not that I don't believe in Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts, but I do think if the Colts lose to Pittsburgh on Sunday and Houston beats Denver, I think because they've got 2 matchups left, I don't think Houston's done. I don't think the Colts are just a runaway favorite for the AFC South. And I think Houston, I know they've got a bunch of flaws on the offensive line. I'm not throwing the flag, was the white flag. I'm not giving up on the Texans to win the AFC South. And that sounds ridiculous. We said that about the Ravens making the playoffs a couple of weeks ago. It sounded ridiculous at the time. That Texans defense, it's just nuts. And you watch this, you know what? I talked about this in our video I just posted, like literally an hour ago. I'm a Notre Dame football fan. Notre Dame playing a big-time team, week 1 against Miami, week 2 against Texas A&M. This is such a niche example. I got worried about their rookie quarterback, their young quarterback, CJ Carr, and I'm like, the moment's just too big. And that's how I feel or felt watching Mac and Cheddar Cheese Jones play the Texans defense. They're the best defense in the NFL statistically, points per game-wise. I think they're just such a good defense. They just won a football game without Nico Collins. Tank Dell is injured. Stephon Diggs is in New England. They don't have too much wide receiver-wise. Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins intrigue me so much, but, hopefully Nico comes back healthy. My point is, that was just a really big, nice win for the Houston Texans, and I wouldn't give up on them and their season. I think Denver beats Houston. Denver and New England are the teams to beat right now. You're definitely not wrong. I'm sure Houston is a big underdog heading into that football game. There is no Pat. There is no deep boy in that football game, or at least I think his diagnosis was 3 to 5 weeks for Pat. So I do think that's a big deal, especially if Nico can come back healthy. Cleveland, New England, I made a Pats video today as well. Drake Maye literally is unbelievable. I mean, he is so talented. I think he's just so talented. And my Packers lost to the Browns in week 3, and we shouldn't have lost that game. Just side note, but Josh McDaniels' third quarter adjustments, his halftime adjustments. I think Drake Maye literally said this. We've covered the Raiders on a Raiders channel since 2022. I always said Josh McDaniels is just built to be an offensive coordinator. It's kind of how I would view like Vic Fangio is just the dude's a DC. Vic Fangio is a defense coordinator. That's how I feel about Josh McDaniels, and he's got this offense running good. And their weakness on the offense is their run game. And with Travion Henderson, he just had a really good game, like 10 carries, 72 yards, something like that. I think it's a matter of time before that run game's unlocked. These rookies, Jared Wilson, Will Campbell, get more reps, get more games. Watch out for the Patriots, man. Giants, Philly. I didn't watch a cent of this. Literally didn't watch a cent of this. I heard and saw that Philly ran more under the center, which is good. No more zone easy run reads. And Cam Scatabo got injured, and I don't know if he's done for the season. It looked the way the injury happened with his ankle looked like he's done for the season. I didn't fact check that. I've got him actually in a fantasy league, so I should. But real unfortunate, man. Jackson Dart, he's a gamer, but the Giants, I don't know, man. It looks like the GM and the coach will get fired at some point, which that's a whole can of worms. Tampa, New Orleans was a great game for Tampa. Their defense, I'm telling you, man, Jacob Parrish, Ben Morrison, even Zion McCollum, Antoine Winfield. There was no Hassan Reddick in that game, and Anthony Nelson really stepped up. He had a pick 6. He was unbelievable. Tampa's 6-2. I think they are a huge dark horse in the NFL and in the NFC in general. We just saw Spencer Rattler get benched. Watching Tyler come in as the backup, I don't know what Kellen Moore was thinking. I don't think Spencer Rattler should be benched. And I don't think Tyler Shuck should be the starting quarterback. I think we're a couple of weeks away from that, but Kellen Moore made his decision, and Spencer Rattler's been benched. I think Houston being the top of AFC South, but I do think Denver wins. Interesting. All right, there we go. Denver, Dallas, 44-24. Denver's legit, man. We made a video, post-game recap, rapid reaction on Sunday night for that Denver win. Bo Nix is getting better and better as the weeks progress. The defense is insane. I mean, they're insane. They've won so many games in a row now, losing track. Really fun matchup next weekend against Houston, as we keep talking about. But that was a great win for Denver. As far as Dallas goes, obviously missing some cogs on the defensive side of the football. I had Dakota in fantasy, so I was pretty pissed off at that game. But Houston Denver 6-2. All right, Indy wins 38-14. Every statistic out there would tell you Indianapolis is the best team in football. Every single advanced analytic would tell you the Colts are the best team in football. They're the best offense in football. They're 7-2. I want to take a quick look at their schedule because I keep hyping up the Houston Texans and saying they can catch up. It's tough when you look at the Colts schedule, man. They've got Pittsburgh on Sunday, Atlanta week 10, week 11 bye. But what I do think could catch up to them is they've got Kansas City week 12, Houston week 13, Jacksonville week 14, Seattle week 15, week 16, San Francisco, week 17, Jacksonville, week 18, Houston. If Jacksonville and Houston figure it out and they start rattling it off, I don't think it's safe. But like I said, when you watch these games, you watch the Colts play, they're the best team in football. I just don't know if I believe it. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, obviously diehard Packer fan. First half starts slow. Pittsburgh needs more offense. I mean, we've been doing this for so many years. I remember hyping up Kenny Pickett in preseason a couple of years ago. The Steelers need weapons. I don't know how we keep doing this every goddamn year. It's actually really annoying. It's really annoying watching the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason and their reluctancy to just get these wide receivers. I know they got DK, but obviously they got rid of George Pickens. And we knew 1 year ago George Pickens wasn't enough for this offense. Why would DK be enough for this offense? I feel like Rodgers can only do so much. But great win for my Green Bay Packers, 5-1-1, leaders of the NFC. I didn't watch any Kansas City, Washington. Marcus Mariota started it. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs look like they're rolling. I like the game Kelsey and Rashee Rice had. We don't talk too much Kansas City on this channel anymore. I should get back to it like I always say. But Washington, man, I feel like the bigger story, people are making the big story is Kansas City's 5-3. Oh, my God, watch out for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift and all these people. Washington's 3-5. I hate negative stuff. We called it. I don't know. We called it. I didn't think Jaden Daniels would deal with injury issues like he has this season. But we knew, honestly, look at the defensive line. Look at the Commanders' defensive line. Look at their preseason defense, their starting roster week 1 on defense. It's just not good. I don't think it's a good defense. So I don't know. We kind of predicted the Washington fall off, and it has nothing, in my opinion, to do necessarily with Jaden Daniels. I think that defense sucks, and that's a tough 28-7 loss with a backup QB. And the Jaden Daniel injuries, Washington's 3-5. I wouldn't necessarily KO them or kibosh them for the playoffs, especially the way the NFC looks. But they need Jaden Daniels healthy. JCM, Bill, not much running game going on in Washington. Arizona, Jacksonville, Detroit, Las Vegas, Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks were all on a bye. I really thought it was just a really shitty week of the NFL. I thought last week was pretty shitty too. And I love football. I love sports. And I'm sitting here all week thinking, what the hell am I going to watch on Sunday? I don't know what game to watch on Sunday. So I'm taking a look at week 9 because there is predictions in the title of this video. We got Minnesota, Detroit. That's a fun one. No international games, which is always exciting. Let's see. Chicago, Cincinnati, Minnesota, Detroit. I think that'll be a fun game, even with JJ McCarthy, especially. I'm just the NFC North kid, born and raised Chicago as a Packers fan. Like I just NFC North's always on TV. I love the NFC North. We have a team channel on pretty much everybody but Green Bay. What's up, Josh? Appreciate you pulling up. Kind of wrapping this. Denver, Houston, I think it's a great game. Atlanta, New England, San Francisco, New York, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh's another great game. Let's see, Chargers, Tennessee. That's the 1 o'clock slate. The 4 o'clock slate is Jacksonville, Las Vegas, Saints, Rams, Buffalo, Kansas City. Honestly, pretty shitty. And then the Sunday night game is Seattle, Washington. And Monday night is actually a fun game to me, Arizona, Dallas. And we've got buys for Cleveland, Tampa, Philly, and the Jets. I'm going to run down the line. The last time we did on a live stream a prediction video, oh, Josh, you missed a lot. We talked about that at the beginning. I can't wait for Denver, Houston. That's my Super Bowl on Sunday, November 2nd, which October is about to end as a whole. October's about to end. I'm 26 goddamn years old. It's almost a whole nother year over. Time flies. I'm going to run down the list. We did this, like I said, a couple of weeks ago. It was really bad. It was so bad, I didn't even talk about it. We did predictions. It was so bad. Oh, my God. I'm going to go with Baltimore over Miami if Lamar plays. I'm going to go Chicago over Cincinnati on the road. I'm going to go Detroit over Minnesota. Sorry, Vikings fans. Green Bay's a 12.5 point favorite over Carolina. That's a trap. If Bryce Young plays, I think that's a trap game. But biasedly, I will go Green Bay. Denver, Houston. Sorry, Broncos fans. I've got this odd belief in Houston. I'm going to go Houston with the upset. Houston's favored. Huh. The Houston Texans are favored to beat Denver. Just discovered that. I guess it is only Tuesday. So I guess that's not an upset, but Houston's favored over Denver? I'd like to know why. New England, Atlanta, with or without Michael Penix, I think Patriots take care of it at home. Giants, San Francisco. I don't know if we have a word on Brock Purdy. I'm going to go San Fran. Indianapolis, Pittsburgh. I'll take the upset Pittsburgh at home. I'll take the Chargers in a blowout against Tennessee. Kind of a fun game. If you're Hardo, Jacksonville at Las Vegas. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Vegas. I'm going to take Jacksonville. Don't feel great about it, but I'm going to take Jacksonville off their bye. Saints, Rams. Oh, Jesus. The Rams are favored by 14. I'm going to go with the Rams. Once again, I still think Spencer Rattler shouldn't have been benched. Kansas City, Buffalo. I mean, it's really a coin flip, but I'll go Kansas City. I don't know. Seattle, Washington, with or without Jaden Daniels, I'm going to take Seattle. I think Seattle's a huge dark horse to win the Super Bowl. We say that all the time. I just want to keep reinforcing Seattle's a Super Bowl contender. I threw out a fun Super Bowl I thought the other day on Twitter. Denver, Seattle. Is it that unconceivable? I don't think so. And then Arizona, Dallas. That's such a fun niche football game. Arizona off the bye. I assume Kyler Murray is playing. I don't have an Arizona Cardinal injury update. I'm going to assume Kyler's playing, though. I am assuming Marvin Harrison plays. I don't know if Trey Benson will be back, but man, that's a pretty fun game, dude. Arizona, Dallas. I don't know. I really like that. The Cardinals have lost a bunch in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look. The Cardinals have lost 5 straight. Oh, God. There's no way. I have a hard time believing the Arizona Cardinals are about to be 2-6. I'll take the upset. I'll take Arizona over Dallas. We'll do it. All right, folks, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. We had a decent amount of live comments. Not really. I can count them on one hand. Actually, no. We had 6 live comments in 30 minutes. I don't know, folks. It would mean the world to me, first off, if you just hit the like button. Not to be desperate, but it makes a difference if you hit the like button for me. I don't know. I love watching the NFL. I love covering the NFL. The videos have not been doing good. If there's anything you are particularly interested in, let me know down below, and maybe it'll spark something up. But that's it for Let's Talk Football 27. Thank you for watching live and post live, and we'll see you sometime. I don't know when, but we'll see you.